Hello and welcome to my first video. My name is DJ Parson and I'm a high rank Through the Ages player. My idea was to upload some of my games with some commentary for you to see, but first I want to give you an introduction to Through the Ages. I'm gonna call this series a guide through the ages, and it's gonna be first off in this first episode the tutorial. So you can watch me and learn the game or learn the way it works digitally. If you already own the board game and know how it plays there, then you can see how it works in this PC form. There are different platforms you can play this game on. This right now is a Steam platform. I also play on Android and it's also available for iOS. And yeah, I'm gonna start with the tutorial and hope you have some fun. As you can see, I have to start over here and we are in. Hello DJ Parson, welcome to this Through the Ages tutorial. I will be your guide. These huts represent your civilization. Well, it's more like a small tribe right now. Your task is to lead it to greatness and glory. Next to me you see a row of cards. Through the Ages is a card-driven game. In fact, even your civilization is made of cards. Please click any of the buildings in the center. See? Cards, with tokens on them. Oh, you can't see me now. Well, I hope you can still read what I'm saying. These cards are the initial technologies of your civilization, and the yellow tokens represent your people. We call them workers. Agriculture is a farm technology. Each worker on this card represents one farm. The two workers on bronze represent mines, and the one on philosophy is your first lab. The religion card has no workers. You have the technology for building temples, but you have no temple built yet. Now click the background behind the cards to return to the main view. See, 2 farms, 2 mines, 1 lab. The glowing yellow light reminds you that these are actually cards with yellow workers. This is a building site. You will be able to build temples here later. And the big building is the seat of your government. It has no yellow lights because it doesn't need workers. We will talk about it later. The first round of each game represents antiquity. We call it HA. The only thing you can do on your first turn is take cards from the card row. You pay for them with civil actions. The cost is displayed below each card. You have only one civil action now, so you can take one only card, and it must be one of the 5 on the left. For example, you can begin construction of the Library of Alexandria, or you can take stockpile resources or speed up the growth of your cities, or you can choose Aristotle to lead your civilization. You can take a closer look at any card by clicking it. Try it with Aristotle, please. Aristotle would be a great leader, but for now just close the card view by clicking anywhere. Now, I need to ask you, and I know it will not be easy with all these great cards. Please pick me as your first card. Will do, Flounder, will do. I can help you learn the game quickly. Also, I'm somewhat nervous about that red X above my head. Thank you. I am sure we will do great things together. But not now. You have spent your civil action on taking my card. So let's end your first turn. Great. Now you have your production phase. Your buildings will produce food, resources and science points. And then the next round begins. Watch what happens to the cards marked with the red X. See, the cards are marked positions. The cards at the marked positions were removed from the game and everything shifted left. Ooh, I think I owe you one. If you hadn't picked my card, I would have been discarded into oblivion. So you start your second turn with a card in your hand. The card in your hand has no effect or abilities until it is played. Oops, that means I'm breaking the rules when I give you advice. I guess I'd better stay quiet until you figure out how to play my card. So I can click it and play it. Great, now I can officially help your civilization. Playing my card has cost you 1 civil action, you have 3 left. That basically means we can do up to 3 more things this turn. But before we do, let's take a look at what we produced last turn. Let's look at the cards again. On the bronze card we have 2 workers. They represent 2 mines. During the production phase, each mine produced a blue token. The 1 resource symbol at the bottom of the bronze card means that each blue token is worth 1 resource. Farms work the same way. We have 2 farms, each produced a blue token worth 1 food. Now we have 2 food. Only tabletop players have to count their food and resources this way. In the digital version, we added a statistics bar for your convenience. It shows that you have 2 resources and also that you will produce 2 more at the end of your turn. Here you see your food reserves and production. These numbers are your science points and culture points. We will cover them later. This yellow token is an idle worker. It represents a group of people who aren't doing anything right now. An idle worker can be put to work by constructing a new building. A new lab or temple would cost 3 resources. That's more than we have right now. But we can afford a new farm or a new mine. Let's try to build a farm. Great, you have built a new farm, just like that, by hitting a button. But what exactly happened? One of your civil action was spent. Our 2 resources were spent. An idle worker was moved onto agriculture card. The worker token now represents a new farm. Let's see how it looks in the landscape. See, 3 yellow lights means 3 little farms. We will produce 3 food each turn. Isn't that wonderful? Well, not that wonderful. Excuse me? Just think, 3 mines would be better. Hey, what do you care? This is our civilization. Wait a minute. You know what? He's right. Next turn, we'll need resources more than food, and we spend our only resources on a farm. Fortunately, there's an undo button. Let's try it. Here, bottom. Cool, the entire build a farm action was reversed. You got our civil action back, as well as the resources and the idle worker. I bet there will be many times when you find yourself grateful for this undo button. Yes, you are right, Flutter. Very often. Now, let's build a new mine. Since we already know what it costs, we do not need to open the card menu. I will show you a faster way. You can just drag your idle worker up to the building site. Like this. See, we spent 1 civil action, we spent 2 resources, the idle worker was moved, and voila, we have a 3rd mine. Now we have no resources left. We can't build anything more this turn. And we still have 2 civil actions. Let's spend them by taking cards from the card row. As you can see, the other leaders of antiquity, the green cards, are dimmed. Each player can take only 1 leader from each age, and you already have me. How unfortunate. All the cards in the rightmost section are also dimmed. Taking one of them would cost 3 civil actions, which you do not have. Let's take a yellow action card. Urban Growth looks like a good choice. You can take a card by just dragging it from the card row. Try it, please. Great. Action cards can be used on later turns for various one-time benefits. For your last action this turn, I suggest you begin constructing of the pyramids. Such an obvious move. Aha. Thank you for your input, Aristotle. Let's take the pyramids. You already know the two ways to take the card. Third option is to double click on it. Wonders do not get into your hand. Instead, they go directly into play. You can see a civilization has begun constructing the pyramids just above this text balloon. Click the construction site. Wonders are the most epic creations you can build in the game. It usually takes several turns to complete a wonder. Right now you don't have any resources or civilizations for constructing the pyramids. But if you want, you can pay 5 diamonds to finish a wonder immediately. You can always buy more diamonds in the store. Nah, just kidding. This is not that type of game. You really will need to gather all the resources to complete a wonder. In the case of the pyramids, this is 3 plus 2 plus 1. Let's go back to the player screen. We have spent all 4 actions. Do you remember exactly what we did? If not, never mind. There's a handy log of your actions. Let's take a look at it. See, everything is here, with all the details. Check the log whenever you need more details about what is going on. Let's close the log by clicking anywhere. Now it really is time to end the turn. During production we will produce 2 food and 3 resources, because we have 3 mines now. And now we say goodbye to Aristotle. Wait a minute. When replenishing the card row, the game will not use HA cards anymore. This is H1 deck of cards. The new cards will be dealt from it. See, H1 cards. We are in the first real age, medieval times. This age will last until the H1 deck runs out of cards. Now let's take a look at the action card we drew on a previous turn. It says that we can build a temple or lab with a discount. Cool, huh? But for some reason, both buttons are disabled. Ah, of course, we cannot build a new building because we have no idle workers. Let's go back to the player screen. We need a new worker. Do you see the arrow button with the 2 food icon? Click it, please. Piece of cake. We spent 2 food and 1 civil action, and now we have a new idle worker available. Well, actually, creating new people is not that simple, but we'll have that birds and bees talk later. Will we, Flada? We will talk about that. Nice. Now we need to give a job to our new worker. At your service, my lord. Great, let's take a look at our buildings. We have 1 lab. The bottom of the card says it produces 1 science. That means 1 science point. And this information is confirmed by the statistics bar. We gain 1 science per turn. Thus, we have accumulated 2 science points after the first 2 rounds. The religion card says each temple produces 1 culture. That's 1 culture point. There are no workers on the card, so we do not have any temples. That's why we produce no culture points yet. Culture represents how each civilization influences the world's history. The player with the most culture points at the end of the game will be the winner. But we can worry about culture later. Right now we should increase our science production. Let's build another lab. Oh, I nearly forgot about our urban growth card. Fortunately, the game reminds us. Let's use it. I think therefore I am. Great, we have a new lab. Let's look at it in the landscape. See, our science production is now 2. Also note that the urban growth card is gone. Yellow cards are discarded after 1 use. But it was worth it. We have saved 1 resource which we can save for a later turn. Now let's take some cards with our 2 remaining civil actions. The leaders are still dimmed and now the wonders are too. When you have a wonder under construction, you can't start constructing another one. Let's take the 2 cheapest action cards. Feel free to read what they do. Stockpile. Gain 1 resource and 1 food. Take it. Culture heritage. Score 1 science and 4 culture. Take it. Now let's end the turn. During production we get 2 food, 3 resources and we score 2 science. Also I will show you where the blue food and resource tokens come from. This is our blue bank. You know, this was originally a board game, so you can't have an unlimited number of tokens. And the yellow tokens come from, surprise surprise, your yellow bank. Ooh. How about trying a super fast and simple turn? Yeah, right. First, let's make some progress on the pyramids. Try to figure out how. Okay, click on it, build 1 stage. Great, we have paid 1 civilization and 3 resources. 1 token from our blue bank was moved to the pyramids to indicate that 1 stage of the wonder is completed. So, how about just taking a few more cards and ending the turn? Okay, take it. Take it. Uh-oh! Now all the cards are dimmed. I forgot about the hand limit. You cannot have more than 4 cards in your hand. Your hand limit is the same as the total number of civil actions. And I see another problem. Corruption. Leaving too much food, resources and constructing materials lying around tempts people to take some of the excess disappear. This icon shows that you will lose 2 resources due to corruption if you end your turn now. To avoid corruption, we need to cover this icon by returning blue tokens to the bank. Spending more food and resources should do the trick. So much for a super fast and simple turn. Let's undo the entire turn. Okay, let's start over. We have too much food, we need to spend them. Let's increase our population again. Excellent, we have a new worker. Grrr. You're probably wondering why this worker is in such a bad mood. It seems I need to explain more about population and the yellow bank. You may think of tokens in your yellow bank as representing open land. Whenever you remove a token, you have more people and less open land. Your initial population could just forage for any food they needed, and they didn't have time to complain. But when you emptied the rightmost section of a yellow bank, your population became denser and more demanding. The icon here says your people will now eat 1 food after each harvest. We want more bread. Also, the cost of increasing your population rose from 2 food to 3 food. And this icon means that one of your workers will be discontent until one of your buildings, leaders or wonders provides at least 1 happy face. More bread and circuses. Discontent workers may cause some trouble, but it's not that big a deal. You know how it is. People always complain about something. Let me show you a real problem. Go ahead and build a farm. Hey, I never wanted to be a peasant. I hate digging ore. Philosophers are underpaid. This is tyranny. Now we have a problem. We are missing 1 happy face and we have forced all our people to work. The angry red face says that if we end the turn now, we will face an uprising. Quick, let's undo that farm. Whew, the face is back to orange again. If you let your discontent workers slack off and rebel a bit, the others will keep working for you. We could leave it this way and keep the discontent worker unemployed. Or we could try another approach, actually making people happy. Let's build a temple. Awesome, everyone seems happy now. Why? Let's take a look at the buildings. The religion card says that in addition to 1 culture, each temple also provides 1 happy face. The face brings so much joy to our hearts. Your total happy faces are displayed below your yellow bank. Let me sum it up. This is the happy face provided by your civilization. This says you are missing a happy face, which makes one of your idle workers discontent. And this says you are missing more happy faces than you have idle workers, uprising. We have 2 civil actions left. We could take 2 cards, but you know what? We should plan a bit. On the next turn we want to finish the pyramids. We need 6 resources for that. Here you can see we will have only 4 next turn. Fortunately, there's a card that can help us. It costs 2 civil actions, but it is worth it. Engineering Genius. Build 1 stage of a wonder, pay 2 resources less. Take it. Note: you cannot play an action card on the turn in which you took it. To finish the pyramids next turn, we have to take Engineering Genius now. Oof, this was a troublesome turn, but we learned a lot. Let's end the turn. Look, the temple produced our first culture point. But we gained only 1 food because our people consumed the other one. Just so you know, you can end the tutorial anytime by using the menu button up there. Later you can pick up where we left off. I think that's a great idea, Vlada. I'm gonna pause for now and see you in the next video.